Double NKH here again, coming at you with another video, this time in the Germantown section of Philadelphia again. You guys might remember this lot from where we got the Lincoln, and the owner of this property we had a little bit of a conflict but resolved it, and he's actually reached out to me and asked me if I want to grab any of these three vehicles that I briefly showed in that Lincoln video. So I don't know, I can only take one today. Brought the trailer, came through that super tight alleyway again, whatever you want to call it. And which one should we take? I guess that's what we're gonna do here. So we got an MG B, I guess, right? An MG midget and MGB. It looks more like a full size, right? And this is really, really rough. So I was briefly looking it over. I mean, there are no floors, no steering wheel, little mini shifter that's completely locked up. Look, it's got AstroTurf. Not quite. That's actually moss. Although it does look like that used to be some kind of, oh, that's like a heat shield. That's what that is. It looks like. Get the wire wheels, pretty cool. I like the luggage rack on the back. Nothing in the trunk. Boy, that's quite a bit of weight reduction. Or is that mouse turds? I'm not sure. But let's get under the hood here. It looks like somebody already pulled these hoods up. This is an aluminum hood, actually. I was looking at it, I was like, man, this is metal's really not rusted. Aluminum. So I'm not really too worried about bending the hood. This is just full of trash. This red's actually in really nice shape. It's probably worth something. Original brass or copper red. But I don't know if something made a nest on top of this engine or what the scoop is. Oh no. Well, that's not a good sign. Those are the head studs. So somebody's got the head off of it. And yeah, I'm gonna say this is probably a pass. Scrap car. Yeah, I'm not gonna, I don't have a spare head for one of these. Now, over here, we've got a Mercedes Ponton, I think these are known as. And it's probably like late 50s, early 60s, somewhere in that range. I'm kind of leaning toward this one because it looks, I like the way it looks. I haven't got the hood open on it yet. Unfortunately, all this junk was just piled on here when I got here. Like, this had turned into the scrap pile because these inevitably or ultimately are gonna be scrapped unless we can find something salvageable. Well, let's take a look at this Volvo Amazon first. The big turnoff on this one, minus the rot and rust, is the fact that the hood's up, the carburetors are pointed, angled up. So I can only imagine how much water was getting in this engine over time. I'm sure she's pretty pooched, but hey, that thing wiggles, so oh well. And these are pretty rare from what I understand. It's neat that it's I thought that was like a samurai or a sword for a second. It's neat that it's a station wagon. But glancing underneath this frame, oh, actually, trailing arms back here, still attached to the frame. Not the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh, look at that. He really cared about these cars too, because he stored them on blocks and to keep the tires from getting flat spots. So that's a great sign. It means these were worthy cars. Of course, there's no floor pans at all, but I mean, some of the frame's there. While we're down here, let's glance under the Mercedes. Exhaust, no muffler. Okay, see, so that's not a good sign. These trailing arms mount right here into the body, like a unibody type of deal, or into the frame there, and that's completely rotted out, so this thing's, yeah. Oh, look at the other side. Can you see that? It's hanging down. It's off of it. So this axle will probably rip out if I even drag this. But also up on blocks, there's the floor coming down. You can see up into the car. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, he's got blocks all four corners. Look at this. Look how thick that is. This one's all rotted out on the edges, but this guy, I mean, look at those radiuses. Wow. Last on the road in 1976. Probably, maybe a touch after that, but that was the last registration. Seems about right. And yes, let's get a look on the inside. I guess I'm leaning toward this Mercedes. I don't know, minus the rot. It's so bad. But the red interior, wing windows on all of them. The steering's free. Oh, column shifter. Ooh, That's locked up too. It just came off. Ugh, what is that? Somebody checked the glove boxes and trunk in all these cars. Yeah, that's tough. This the Mercedes headliner, you guys recognize that? We serviced over at the Sunoco Custom Car Care. Mercedes-Benz Carrosserie. I don't know how to say that. All right, we're gonna pull the trigger on the Mercedes. It's the most accessible one. If I try to get this Amazon out, I'm gonna damage it on the trees, and there's just no room with this dumpster in the way. I don't have the key to that gate over there. And same with the MG, getting that out it's smashed up against these trees. By the way, did you guys see the roots on this thing? Like, I guess since there was so much junk here over time, they came up real high, and there was actually a shed. You can see the floor here, and it was, yeah, kind of got built and pushed into it. Let's get this thing loaded up. Will it run? And if it doesn't, what's wrong with it? Let's find out. Look at that, I left my chain here. That really blends in. Good thing I came back. I think the way we're gonna do this is winch off of the dumpster with a snatch block, pull it out, and then over. Little jammed up. Hey.
I was going to call you to see was you going to be able to make it, because I remember the dump was here. How you feeling?
Yeah, hey, good, man. How are you?
You good? You going to be able to do it?
So, yeah, the only one I'm going to be able to grab is the Mercedes at this point, yeah.
Cool. So when the tree come down, I'll just call you and tell you to grab that.
Okay,
if you want.
Hey, what's up with that belt saw in there? What are you doing with that?
Take it.
Yeah? Oh, my man. That. How convenient. Just drag her on forward. She's a roller. Yeah. No, unfortunately, I made a mistake. I should have tied up that trailing arm, because as to be expected, it went down, hooked into kind of push the axle back, which jams me up a little bit. Oh man. There we go. Chain's about to pop off. There we go. I got her straightened back out now. Somehow I have to tie that up. Alright, there it is. I had to get a little crafty with ratchet straps and chain. I didn't have a floor jack handy, but oh, there it is. It went over. Sweet. Alright, now we can pull it straight over. This is why I don't have nice vehicles. Close the door, and I heard the stick crunch in there. I don't care. It's fine. Best feeling ever to not care. perfect. Don't even need the tilt deck. A piston out of something. Got a big slit on the side of it too. It's a Ford. Anybody know what it's out of? Flat top? Maybe a Model T, or who knows? Never seen one quite like it. I think this little car is happy. It's about to go for a ride on a trailer and not rotting away in the yard anymore. Maybe a prospective future for at least the engine, who knows? We're locked and loaded, but last thing before we roll inside of this building, the Lincoln video, you might remember the bandsaw. He gave me the green light on getting this out of here, so just gonna walk it over because it's kind of heavy and I'm slightly injured. And take it easy. He's actually showing me this really cool picture over here. You probably can't see it. There's a better look at it. Imagine how old that painting is. This building was built in the 1800s. Pretty cool. Oh yeah, we got plenty of room to swing this wide. Well, I think we're gonna take advantage of the free parking in this part of town. Go grab a bite to eat at Deke's Barbecue. See the SEPTA pulling out of Wayne Junction. Great spot this is. Kind of a 2-for-1. You get the Attic Brewing and Deke's next door. Brisket sandwich with some more brisket. Oh yeah. We're a few weeks later now. You can see all the greenery's out. This thing started changing colors. Getting all sorts of greenery. Oof. This window looks like it loosened up a little bit on the... Whoa! Okay. We'll just call that lucky that it didn't fly out on the drive. Heck, the glass might be the most valuable thing on this car. If anybody's interested in parts off of this, let me know. Honestly, I don't know where we're going from here. Hey, you guys are probably thinking I'm a weirdo for even messing with this junker. How about this front window? Is this coming out too? No, that one's still in there pretty good. What are these turn signals up on the side? Yeah, imagine that. I like it. Guys, isn't this just the greatest time of year with all the fresh greenery, the birds, the honeybees out and about? Oh, actually it looks like I might have a robbing issue going on. I don't recognize that guy. He's a big boy. Ooh, and him too. I pretty much just always let them be. If the colony goes down, it goes down, but been lucky many years now. What do we got under this hood, and is it locked up? What's that, a rat cap or just a fake one? Yeah, look at that. There we go. There we are. A little German 4-banger. Oh, from when I was reading, these came with the M136 or the M121 for 4-cylinder gas engines. I actually put inline 6 petrols in here and 4-cylinder diesels too. But this appears to be the M121 1.9 liter based on my first impressions here. So single overhead cam, double roller, timing chain. There's the distributor. Everything looks real easy to access, which I love. And I suppose the whole point of this video is we're gonna find out if these are as tough as an American V8 that's been sitting for a long time. Provided it ran when it was parked, we never really know, but you can see looking around, I mean, this thing, you know, it's been parked for some time. Quite some time. I'm gonna have to say at least 25 years or more, based on I'm almost gonna say this has been sitting since the 80s. I don't know. Zunfolge 1342 is the firing order, I assume. Let's identify some basic components. These are hard fuel line coming in to serviceable fuel filter, fuel pump, comes over to the Solix. Looks like maybe a 2-barrel carburetor. This is the clutch cable, I would assume, or maybe that's park and brake. Our brake master cylinder, real accessible down there. You can see the hose is off on the bottom of the plastic reservoir. A windshield washer bag, ignition coil. Oh, that thing rotted completely through. The copper rad appears to have fared very well, minus the steel on the side of it falling apart. Somebody's already got the cap off, and yeah, that's bone dry, of course. Look at that on the lower rad hose. It's got this little bypass port elbow. It almost looks like somebody soldered that in, and there's a flasher unit blocking it off. Flasher relay. What's this, the heater? Yeah. There is a look at the big old honking starter motor with the relay on it. I mean, so far, I'm gonna say I like this. This looks very well built, easy to service, no air filter. It is a 2-barrel. Got a canister type oil filter, and you can see it has a hose going up, I assume for the oil pressure gauge inside. And on this block, somebody has installed a petcock. Oh, operates too. You gotta love good quality old brass copper materials. And there's your oil dipstick. Should probably have cleaned that off first. But we got some oil on the stick there. How about it? Actually looks clean and up to level. That means probably no condensation and water in the crankcase. Wow, it's bone dry up there. That hasn't had oil flowing in a long while. Kind of sludgy and chunky, but I don't see any rust or evidence of condensation. You know, if nothing else, there's a lot of good parts on this car. Like, it would be a shame to put this through the crusher. When you're looking at something that cannot be duplicated, maybe replicated, but shoot these cylinders up with a little lube. And the crank feels like maybe a 19 or 21. I'll go 3/4, 13/16, and 7/8. 7/8 it is. People always get upset if you use metric on a standard car and standard on a metric car. Here we go. This should rotate down, right? Okay, we are rotating, and that feels excellent. This thing has like no resistance at all. You can 2-finger the ratchet. She's a loose, broken in engine. Let's drop these plugs back in. As I'm looking down here, check that out. That's one of the blower fans. Oh man, the bottom's just completely rotted off. And I guess this had a heater core on each side. These could be handy little units for, I don't know, some other kind of heat exchanger. But yeah, one on each side that would blow into the car. Well, I've got to jump back on here. Let's give her a little crank over. We know it's in neutral, all right? Oh. There it is. I'm actually surprised that's cranking so slow, because this jump pack's really strong, and we saw how easy the engine rotated. But I guess that's just the way these starters are, or it's worn out. Get the oil primed a little bit. I mean, it's not pulling excessive amperage because these cables not getting hot. And before I go any further, I want to get all this junk cleared out, vacuumed, and maybe a quick little pressure wash. You know, boost the morale. And stage 1 cleaning under the hood, good. A couple interesting finds. That front cross member there, or support, completely rotted through on the top. The voltage regulator also rotted through the cover and shot. There's actually a wrench sitting here too. And the coolest thing I found was these all the packages. And we got Cheetos Paws, and I looked it up. These came out in 1990, discontinued in 1993. So if these are from 1990, that would be 34 years ago. And looking at the ingredients on it, totally different format than we have today. We also got some barbecue dipsy doodles by Wise and the Ponton popcorn, which has a date on it, April 14th, 1990. So that gives you a little bit better of an idea. Of course, we had to do the heater delete mod, but you know, these will go in the scrap pile. Could maybe use them for something if I look up and there's no value. If not, you know, it's good copper. Who's that barking at me? You finally coming out? Oh yeah, all right, come on, let's go. Let's go, boy, come on. Those big stairs are nothing for you, huh? Boy, doesn't that just look like $1 million already? So satisfying to pressure wash these old cars. You see the windshield shot, getting all foggy on the bottom. But look at that. Inspection, Pennsylvania, 1976 is the last time this was legally on the road. Let this thing air out a little bit too. Oh, darn. It's coming out the bottom. Just keep that bungee corded up for now. The next step is finding out if this engine's gonna run or not, and then we'll take it off the trailer if so. I do like this little timing contraption on it. It's almost like a quick action. And the first item is gonna be this coil. That's what the inside of one looks like. Luckily, I have a spare coil sitting right here. And I tell you, one thing I'm really hating about this car is the hood. Like this thing, I've hit my back on it a bunch of times, and it's just so low. You gotta lean over like crazy. Oh, so the battery goes right. Good points. Get some fuel going to it. We got a manual choke, and then for the throttle linkage, it's all mechanical rod coming here, here, lots of joints there. I did spray this down earlier too. Not really too worried about breaking it. Oh yeah, here we go. Quick pop off. Ah, throttle is going. Excellent. It's got the primary over on the passenger side, and then halfway through the throttle, secondary opens up. But actually, it looks like, you see that there's another throttle flap under that too. So maybe that's vacuum actuated or whatever this is right there, that opens it. I believe this hose that came off is a one-piece steel line and then has this insulation all around it. Really good quality. And you see that's the adapter you need to be able to fit this carburetor piece, but a AN fitting seems to actually thread on just perfect. Yeah, it almost bottoms out, it's contacting. I think that'll do. Oh yeah, that's gonna seal fine. I'll hook her up to some auxiliary 2-smoker fuel. Crack that valve open, see what happens. Yep, there it goes. Pumper is operating. Okay, we are juiced, primed, and ready to fire off. Let's do it. Yeah! over there. That's not a good sign. We got the fire extinguisher. Oh, that's spilling oil everywhere. Okay, so our oil pressure gauge or light is, yeah, that's just a steel line rusted through back here. But man, that sounds really healthy. Hitting all four, real solid. All right, I cut the hose, capped that off. Let's fire this up one more time, listen to it. I know we don't have any coolant in the system, but you know, that's a whole separate project. Water pump spins though. Yeah, it's got an aluminum fan in it. Not bad, I don't think I've ever seen that. Fire's right off, you didn't touch it. Man. Really smooth four banger. Unbelievable. He is a winner. Darn. I'm out here next evening assessing the situation. You know, will it run? Yes. Will it drive? I'm gonna say no. I mean, the amount that we would have to do to even get this thing limping down the road, it's just not worth it. We got it for free, so at this point I'm thinking pull the engine, trans, maybe the rear, whatever else is salvageable, and then unfortunately off to the scrap yard. I mean, it's just a little too crispy. Like, I bet you, like, I mean, the door's barely attached to the car. I could probably rip it right off. Well, just about. A little curious about this dent, if that would pop right out. Wow, a few whacks with the hammer and it's like new. It's been pulling water for how many years there? Just needed a couple taps. That's funny, I was worried about damaging these hubcaps on the trailer pulling off, but I'm rocking through anyway. That's an interesting design for the hubcap holder. These are like little aluminum or some kind of alloy blocks bolted onto the steel wheel, riveted on, and then they have a spring-loaded ball bearing, it looks like. I like that. You know, it's one cool thing about the different manufacturers. It's like back in the day, the internet didn't exist, so everybody, all these guys all did stuff so wildly different. Like, you would never see that in an American car. At least I wouldn't think so. That's probably a little much weight for the old B7500. Without going on to this, did want to show you the differential on the back. Check that out. The independent suspension. It's got that linkage and like a boot on top. Really just a neat design. Gotta love those old hood hinges. Original springs still hold up, unlike modern cars with the little gas struts. One thing I love about doing part outs is saving old good parts. Ideal Corp High Gear, Brooklyn, New York. You think they still make worm gear clamps, hose clamps in Brooklyn? My guess would be probably not. And these things are better than anything you could buy today. Yeah, they had a little rust on them, but good to go. I'm actually really upset with myself for hitting that horn, breaking it. Look at the inside of it. Never seen one quite this way. Looks like it would still work and brand new. I don't think it worked anyway. That's one way to do it, right? I saw it was a slip yoke in the back, so I figured I didn't even have to mess with it with the drive shaft. Tore the support right out, the rubber center support. Folded over the jack stands, but good test for those Harbor Freight Daytona stands. Let's see how they held up. I saved the engine. It will live on. And there goes the Mercedes Ponton. You know, some you just can't save, guys. Off to the wrecking yard. Actually, she's getting a sweet spot right up here on the container. It'll be a prized possession, right? Looks good up there. I like it. So it was nice to get a little scrap money for that chassis and the engine. Maybe I'll get something more. I don't know. I did have the Ponton up on Marketplace to see if anybody's interested in parts, but nothing so far, which I'm not surprised. Now this, I forget if I mentioned it earlier in the video, but there is a guy that reached out. I saw it in the Lincoln video, and he offered me $300 for this. He plans to refurbish it, and he's actually going to do some videos on doing that, so I will plug that down below when and if he does it. But for now, I got to get it disassembled, partially palletized, and I showed it before, but this is made by Hutchinson Manufacturing Company in Norristown, Pennsylvania. So very cool that this is going to be getting redone. I mean, they just don't build them like that no more. Hopefully you can reuse that switch too. This is by Arrow Hart and Hag something electric company. And the motor on it is a master motor, which is locked up. Sure that's savable though. This thing's got some weight to it. Yeah, I just laid this on the side and then dragged it across. You hear that noise? And I'm thinking, oh no, what about the switch? It's not even scathed. It's got this heavy duty steel cover over it. That ought to hold it down. Did some metal strapping, a ratchet strap, and it's screwed down. It ain't going nowhere. Got 240 pounds with the pallet. And I know it's silly, but I just revisited this horn and there was actually a set of points in here that I didn't notice. So I just cleaned those off. And now when I hit it, we're getting sparkage. So I bet you this thing will work now. Oh yeah. Put it on 12 volts so we don't have to burn it out. That's great. I guess I'll hold on to this thing. It's made by Hella. It's a B31 12 volt, made in Germany. Well, some of you guys might be wondering at this moment, what's the point in doing this Mercedes if you're just sending it to the scrapyard anyway? Well, it brings me joy. You know, will it run? And if it won't, what's it need? Is the long version of that. Will it run and drive? You know, will it drive with not that much effort? No, in this case. So we answered the question, and it's great that we got to save the engine. It's got a prospective future. You know, I'm the opposite of people like that dude Whistling Diesel. You know, he likes to just destroy everything, and I like to save. I mean, I like to destroy stuff too. It can be fun, but dude's taking like brand new square body trucks and smashing them for money. I don't know. Can't get down with that. So shame on you, buddy, if you ever happen to see this clip. I mean, hats off to you for the views you get. It's cool you're making money, but you gotta save this old stuff. It can't be replaced, not destroy it. For me, these videos are always fun, the learning experience. You know, that last vacuum or wash or drive, it just really brings me lots of joy. So appreciate you guys tuning in very much, and I'll see you probably next week on the part 2 of this Mustang. We'll get this up to Massachusetts, back to its owner, and all sorts of other random adventures coming up, because that's how we do it here, very random. We'll cap it off with some drone shots that I had down there when I was at the barbecue joint, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.